She miraculously came back from death with a prophetic countdown of 40 days until rapture. In the quaint English village, whispers flitted through the cobbled streets, echoing with the miraculous tale of Joanna. Just days before, she lay unresponsive in her bed, color drained from her cheeks, a victim of a cruel illness. But now she had returned. The clock was ticking. "I have witnessed the countdown 40 days until the rapture," she declared, her voice a melodic whisper that rose defiantly against the clamor of doubt. The villagers amassed under the flickering candles of St. Matthew's Church, their breaths caught in a shared sense of anticipation. It was as if the air itself shimmered with divine energy. Children held hands tightly, their eyes wide as they gazed up at Joanna, Mother Mary reborn in their midst. Mark, her husband, stood in awe, the warmth of faith clashing with fear in his heart. How could Joanna have known such a profound truth? As news of her prophecy spread, miraculous occurrences began to intertwine with daily life. The next morning, the blooms in the church garden burst forth in vibrant shades of pink and gold, as if kissed by heavenly hands. An elderly widow, once confined to her bed, stood upright, miraculously healed. All around, a chorus of hope lifted spirits that had drifted low, but as reverence grew, so did concern. After the village gathered that fateful night, Joanna returned to them, and a hush fell over the congregation. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let us continue. The murmurs of doubt grew louder with each passing day, fueled by the skeptical Reverend Thomas, who questioned the authenticity of Joanna's claims. "Is it God's voice, or mere illusions?" he proclaimed, casting shadows over her radiant light. Yet many would soon find solace in Joanna's presence, feeling her warmth like a divine embrace. They believed she was a messenger, their hearts warmed by the flicker of hope igniting within. Yet, amidst the joyful celebrations, Joanna grappled alone with her burden. Each night, ominous dreams haunted her, visions of darkness and despair, rumbling warnings that threatened to drown her newfound strength. One day, as she pondered these revelations, a gust of wind rushed through St. Matthew's, causing the candles to flicker wildly and laughter to halt. It was a sign. The tension mounted as neighbors whispered, some found peace, while others turned away in fear. But the joyous miracles continued. Unexpected generosity flowed through the village as souls united in a common quest for understanding. The townspeople experienced inexplicable peace, and Joanna inched closer to the truth of her vision. As time slipped away, the countdown loomed ominously, pressing like a weight on her chest. On the final evening, the congregation gathered once more, hearts pulsing with unspoken fears. Joanna, clutching her well-worn Bible, felt the tremors of divine energy course through her. Just as she prepared to speak, the air around them shimmered with an almost palpable light, causing hope to swell like tides against the shore. What revelation would come forth? Would Joanna's vision hold the key to their salvation? Or was there a deeper mystery waiting to unfold? The candlelight danced fervently as anticipation filled the air, the clock ticking down. Joanna stood before the flickering candles, the warmth of their glow wrapping around her like a divine embrace. The congregation's eyes reflected flickers of light, wading through the sea of doubt and expectation. It was an unspoken bond woven together by faith and fear, hope and anxiety, each person seeking something that transcended their earthly existence. As she gazed into their eager faces, she felt the weight of her message settle heavily in her heart. The dreams she had, fragments of shadows mingled with impressions of light, haunted her waking moments. "What am I to say?" she whispered to herself, the words fluttering like fallen petals in a spring breeze. But deep within, a whisper urged her forward, a gentle nudge toward her purpose. "Dear friends," she began, her voice steady despite the trembling in her heart. "In this moment of uncertainty, I stand before you not merely as a vessel of prophecy but as your sister in Christ. I come to speak of love, grace, and the time that is near. Her heart raced, for she sensed the urgency of her words could ignite a fire of faith or fan the flames of fear further. Around her, the townsfolk leaned closer, their breaths hitching in anticipation. Among them, some faces shone with unwavering belief, while others reflected doubt, shadowed by Reverend Thomas' skeptical rhetoric. Yet in that sacred space, Joanna felt her spirit pulsate with divine energy, urging her beyond self-doubt. I have seen darkness, yes, Joanna continued, her voice rising slightly, carried by courage. But I have also seen light. A glorious moment of reunion awaits us. Do not allow the fear of what is to come steal the joy of what is. In that very instant, a wave of understanding washed over the crowd. The air thickened with expectation, shifting in weight, as if heaven itself had drawn nearer. Several villagers exchanged glances, silently acknowledging the shared calling to witness something extraordinary. Tears glistened in the eyes of a young woman who had once lost hope. She smiled softly, a spark of light flickering in the depths of her soul. But then, like a dark cloud passing over a sunlit meadow, doubt crept back into the atmosphere. "Is this a moment of true prophecy?" murmured a voice from the back. Murmurs spread through the crowd, casting ripples of uncertainty. What if it is just wishful thinking, her own desire to believe? Joanna's heart sank at the echoes of doubt, but she sensed the unity of the Spirit could banish the shadows. Brothers and sisters, I invite you to look beyond yourself. Let us embrace the mysteries of the divine together. Embrace the promise of grace. Each heartbeat resonated in her chest, as if the very essence of faith were beating in time with her words. With a flicker of courage, Joanna extended her hands toward the heavens, a silent plea rising. The candle flames danced fiercely, a flickering reflection of hope, a divine sign. Perhaps, suddenly, a single candle flickered brightly before exploding into a shower of golden sparks, illuminating the church in an ethereal glow. Gasps filled the room as if angels themselves had thrown open the heavenly realm, inviting the villagers to experience the miraculous. In that moment, the nature of hope revealed itself anew. Joanna felt the presence of something bigger, and she wondered how many were prepared to heed the call. Would the veil of doubt be lifted, revealing the path toward divine understanding? Or would they turn away, blinded by the fear of the unknown? As the sparkles subsided, all eyes were locked on Joanna, a collective breath drawn deep. The clock still ticked down, but the sense of an unseen force grew stronger. What awaited them as the time marched closer? Did this miracle hold the answers they sought, or even further mysteries yet to unfold? Joanna stood still, the air thick with anticipation, every eye upon her. She could feel the pulse of the congregation radiating with curiosity, fear, and flickers of faith. The golden sparks had not only illuminated the church, but also ignited something deep within each heart present. She glanced from face to face, reading the questions woven into their expressions. "What now?" she thought, her heart racing with a blend of urgency and resolve. She could sense that she held not just the power of speech, but of connection, an invisible thread linking their spirits together. As she opened her mouth to speak again, a wave of warmth surged through her, filling her with a newfound energy. "Let us not forget the promise," she urged, the weight of her voice carrying vulnerability and strength. "That each trial is but a step on the path to something greater. In our darkest moments, the light is there, waiting. This moment we share today, a divine gift. We must embrace it." The flickering candlelight seemed to dance in agreement. Thrumming in the background was a gentle rhythm, the heartbeat of their gathering growing more synchronized. And yet, in the depths of Joanna's mind, the shadows of doubt lingered. She remembered the whispers of skepticism. What if this is all just a fleeting illusion? But amidst her uncertainty, a truth resonated within her. Christ himself walked through the valley of shadows, and so must we. With those words, she felt a rush of courage. The congregation responded, a unison of murmurs rising like an echo of faith. "I stand here not alone," she continued, gathering strength from their collective energy. "We are bound by our shared experiences and dreams. Each sorrow we carry the pain, the hope shapes us as one body, ready to rise." Tears streamed down the cheek of an elderly man in the front row, who had once lost his family to tragedy. The warmth in Joanna's heart surged as she noticed him nodding, as if awakening from a long slumber. Yes, dear brother, stand with us in this. Your heart is the compass guiding us home. Unintended silence fell upon them as a sound, soft yet piercing, echoed through the room. It wasn't an unsettling noise, but rather a gentle whisper that wrapped around them like a soft breeze, calling them deeper into the moment. The previous doubts became flecks of dust, fading under the weight of newfound hope. As Joanna gazed toward the flickering candles again, she thought of her dreams, the visions that had opened wide the door to the divine. These dreams, she breathed, her heart soaring, they are a glimpse of what is to come. A promise of union, a resurrection of joy. We must prepare. Are you ready to join me? A chorus of amens echoed throughout the room. The energy was palpable, lifting her spirit higher. Remember, friends, that our time is short, yet our hearts can grow vast. In just 40 days, we shall step into the unknown together, a sacred embrace of eternity. As those words left her lips, the clock above the altar chimed softly, reverberating through the hallowed space. The air crackled with an electric undercurrent, an invitation, stirrings of the powerful unknown radiating from within. What lay ahead in those 40 days? The crowd held their breath. Hope and trepidation intermingled in their hearts. What revelation awaited them? How would their faith be tested, or transformed? Each soul vibrated with the promise of divine adventure. What lies beyond this horizon, dear friends? Joanna called out, her voice both a challenge and a call. Will we journey together to uncover it? The murmurs and nods erupted into a unified voice, each word imbued with the spark of hope. But deep inside, Joanna felt an unshakable tension. What truly is God's plan for us on this path? She questioned softly, peering into the future that flickered just out of reach. Thus the hour approached, and a new mystery unfolded. The moment hung between them, electric and alive, as if the very air kept secrets of what was to come. Joanna felt the collective anticipation pulsate like a living thing. The congregation was hungry, yearning for clarity, and deep within her, she questioned whether she could be the vessel for that clarity. Each of you carries a spark, she said, eyes brightening, a unique purpose entwined in this divine journey. Your fears and regrets, your triumphs and joys, they are not merely your burdens. They are the ashes from which our faith ignites. As she spoke, a soft light shimmered from the stained glass windows, casting vivid colors that danced like radiant spirits across the floor. It was as if heaven, too, sought to bear witness to their gathering. A ripple of murmurs swept through the congregation, voices rising in awe. What will happen in these 40 days? They wondered, their hearts thumping in a shared rhythm that resonated with both anxiety and excitement. We often cling to the mundane, Joanna continued, sensing the weight in the air. Yet, the miraculous lies just beneath the surface. Unseen, it waits for our acceptance. Are we prepared to unearth the treasures hidden in the depths of the everyday? From the back of the church, a woman stood, her voice breaking through the anxious silence. I lost my job last year and wondered why. Will this journey lead us to understand our trials? Joanna felt the eyes of the congregation draw close, the energy shifting as many nodded, recognizing the burden of uncertainty. Yes, dear sister, she replied, her spirit ignited. In the darkest valleys, if we seek with open hearts, we will find revelation. Your job loss was not a dead end but a turning point. A chance for renewal. Like the rain that nourishes the seeds, our struggles prepare us for a life transformed. At that moment, the weight of the atmosphere shifted. Joanna noticed a flicker among the congregation, a spark of understanding lighting up faces one after another, as if an invisible curtain had been pulled back, revealing a brighter vision. Let us embrace this sacred time together, Joanna urged, her heart filled with compassion and hope. In these 40 days we will meditate on our fears, share our stories, and listen for the call of the divine. Together we will rise. Together we will venture into the unknown. She glanced at the old man in the front row, who still held tears in his eyes. Each tear you've shed waters the soul, Joanna said softly. Your testimony fuels our faith. Listen closely to what God whispers in your heart. As the room filled with nods and murmurs of agreement, Joanna sensed a tangible tide of faith rising. Their voices entwined, creating a harmonious blend of longing and expectation. The invitation was clear, the choice lay before them. "Will you journey into the depths of your hearts with me?" she asked, her gaze steady. "Will we step forward hand in hand, ready to witness a transformation?" A heartfelt, resounding yes erupted, and she felt a wave of warmth wash over her, a surge of community, spirit, and the divine intertwined. But what awaited them on this path? Joanna's heart raced with both excitement and fear. As we prepare to welcome what lies ahead, let us remain vigilant. Trust your instincts. The Spirit moves in mysterious ways. With a final glance at the tall clock, its hands ticking softly, Joanna concluded, "Soon, the countdown shall begin. The promise of renewal awaits us all." And with those words, the air seemed to thicken again, shimmering with potential and silent promises. As the candles flickered in response, Joanna couldn't shake off a deeper question that echoed in her heart. What truths would be revealed in these 40 days, and how were they to embrace the unknown mystery together? The hour was at hand, and the sacred countdown loomed ever closer. An unexpected stillness enveloped the church, a sacred hush that breathed with life and anticipation. Joanna stepped back slightly, feeling the energy of hope swelling among them. The quiet was thick with unspoken prayers, an unseen current weaving through the congregation, drawing them closer together. "Brothers and sisters," she began anew, each word deliberate and heartfelt, "the essence of our journey is transformation. These next 40 days will not only influence us but reshape our connection to one another, and with God. Are we ready to dive deeply into our own truths?" The congregation's faces glimmered with a mix of hope and fear. The younger ones looked to the elders, who offered nods of encouragement. Joanna could feel the divine stirring, a gentle reminder that they were not alone in this journey. "Let me tell you," she continued with fervor, "about a time when I felt utterly lost, just like many of you may feel now. I was drawn into darkness, unsure of the light. It was in the most bewildering of moments, when all paths seemed blocked, that God's promise revealed itself to me." A gasp rippled through the room, eyes widening in shared vulnerability. Joanna took a breath, her own tremors of remembrance surfacing when despair felt like an anchor. "He wrapped me in peace. I learned that every struggle is an invitation. A call to something greater." She paused, letting that land softly. The warmth in the room began to swell, hearts uniting in common experience. A woman from the side whispered, "What kind of invitation?" Joanna smiled, sensing the curiosity igniting in the room. "It's the invitation to surrender, to let go of control and trust. Trust that God's hands are crafting something beautiful from our ashes." The old man, tears still glistening, nodded slowly, a spark of light returning to his eyes. "We need that, don't we? To trust the unseen, to believe in the unfolding." "Yes," Joanna exclaimed, feeling the divine rhythm guide her words. "To believe in the unfolding. Remember, the night might cloak our sight, but it is also when the stars shine brightest. In the coming days, let us explore the shadows, but with the assurance that we will emerge in light. We must look for our blessings hiding among the challenges." At that moment, a rattle of the clock broke the silence of weighty expectation, echoing through the hall. The clock was not just a mechanism for measuring time, it was a reminder of each heartbeat, each moment leading them towards something powerful. "Let us make a pact today," Joanna said, her voice rising with conviction. "Let us write down our struggles, our fears. Let us dip them in prayer and immerse them in divine purpose. We'll gather our stories, sharing them like roots weaving together. In our togetherness, we will manifest strength." A murmur ran through the room, a soft yet powerful agreement. They exchanged glances, each face reflecting a myriad of emotions, a blend of trepidation, hope, and budding faith. "Write down what holds you captive," Joanna urged gently. "And dare to share. We are embarking on this path together, a journey that may twist and turn, but always toward freedom in Christ." As she finished speaking, the glow of the stained glass grew brighter, a rich tapestry of color wrapping around them like a heavenly cloak. Joanna sensed angels might just be framing their space, surrounding them with divine encouragement. But just then, From the back of the church, a deep voice rose above the hush. What if we uncover something we aren't ready for? What if the truth feels too heavy to bear? A collective intake of breath filled the room as they awaited Joanna's response. She realized the question was poignant, one many feared to examine. She took a step forward, heart steadying itself within the sacred uncertainty. Then we do so together, she said earnestly, her eyes scanning the crowd, touching each soul present. Each burden becomes lighter shared, each pain a little less frightening in community. Let us echo our fears in faith. For every dark moment holds the promise of light, waiting to be revealed. The congregation nodded in unison, a tangible solidarity beginning to form. Are you ready to uncover the truth together? Joanna asked, her voice barely above a whisper but resonating with power. The echo of their yes rang like a bell, a beautiful affirmation that filled the air with buoyant possibility. As she prepared to close, a question lingered in the air: how would this sacred journey change them? What would they unearth in their hearts over these 40 days? The clock ticked softly in the background, a reminder that time was of the essence. One truth lingered unspoken, awaiting revelation. What divine surprises lay hidden just beneath the surface? The church was alive with possibility, yet a thread of tension wove its way through the air. They whispered among themselves, their breaths mingling with the hope Joanna had ignited. Each heart beat in rhythm with the mysteries yet to come. The flickering candles cast a warm glow, the flames flickering like the fragile yet fierce faith surrounding them. Joanna took a moment to let the atmosphere settle, watching the glances exchanged, the nods of agreement solidifying their pact. She could sense the fear still lingering, swirling like golden dust motes dancing in the light, a testament to their shared humanity. It was the fear of the unknown that held them back, crying out for assurance of a safe landing. What if, she began, her voice gentle, what if we embrace that fear? Let us dive into the heart of it, not letting it paralyze us, but allowing it to become a catalyst for growth. The murmur among the congregation deepened, a mix of uncertainty and curiosity. One man, his brow furrowed as if carrying deep burdens, raised his hand. What if we don't know how to begin? A quiet understanding swept through Joanna. That's why we're here, to help each other. Let me share a truth I learned in my own battle. The first step often comes in the form of a question. It's when we ask the hard things that we find paths illuminated for us. She stepped closer, her eyes keen and bright. Maybe we write down our questions too. What burdens our hearts? What mysteries weigh on our souls? If we are honest about our doubts, perhaps we can begin to see glimmers of hope in unexpected answers. The old man who had wept earlier spoke again softly. Are we prepared for those answers? What if they lead us down a path we fear? Exactly, Joanna replied, her enthusiasm contagious. But therein lies our strength. The discomfort of truth can lead us to profound freedom. Each of us has scars that tell stories. Let them become our guide. Are we willing to let vulnerability shape our journey? Another voice chimed in, softer but filled with emotion. I long to break free from what binds me. I just don't know how. Joanna's heart swelled with compassion. And that's why this shared space is sacred. When we step forward in faith, we form a chain of support, lifting one another as we seek the light in our darkness. It's not about perfection, it's about progression. Together, we can face whatever shadows lie ahead. The congregation nodded, stirred by her passion. Slowly, the fear began to dissipate, like fog chased away by rays of the morning sun. She could see the hearts changing, the burden beginning to lift. Let us consider the next step, Joanna encouraged. For every fear that comes to surface, write down one thing you are thankful for. Let us build an altar of gratitude, keeping it at the forefront as we venture through this wilderness. Gratitude is a powerful balm that helps us understand our struggles. A palpable buzz filled the room as pens danced across paper, capturing both fears and thankfulness. Each stroke felt like a prayer interwoven with the divine, a tapestry of souls searching toward the light. As the last of them finished writing, Joanna felt a tug at her spirit. Remember, she said, her voice steady yet charged with energy, we may not find resolution immediately, But each day of this journey holds a promise. In 40 days, we will celebrate the revelations we gather. Embrace this time as sacred as we count down together. The congregation leaned into the promise, their faces illuminated with determination. 40 days brings transformation. How magnificent could the outcome be? Yet an unshakable question lingered deep in their hearts and echoed silently among the walls. What shadows of truth awaited to emerge? With the clock marking time, they sensed the sacred countdown had begun. The air thrummed with anticipation, the path ahead cloaked in mystery, promising divine discoveries yet to unfold. What revelation would emerge by day 40, and how would their faith deepen in the journey of unveiling truth? As the days unspooled slowly, a quiet intensity settled over the congregation. Every morning brought the same ritual, hands clasped in prayerful circles, voices soft yet determined. Each soul carried a slip of paper bearing their fears and a heart full of gratitude. There was something powerful about acknowledging both the darkness and the light, woven together like a sacred tapestry. Joanna had set the challenge of the 40 days not out of mere whim, but out of fervent belief that this journey would unlock spiritual doors they had never dared to knock upon. Every week, they would gather again to share, to listen, and to support. Each meeting sparked more questions, digging deeper into the soil of their lives. One evening, as they congregated, the flickering candles cast dancing shadows against the walls, echoing the unsteady beats of their hearts. Joanna observed them all, nervous anticipation mingling with unshakable hope. There was Ben, a quieter figure who spent his mornings volunteering at the local soup kitchen, and Elsie, who shared the warmth of her radiant laughter, but hid behind it a shadow of grief. Tonight, Joanna began, her tone firm yet gentle, I want to focus on transformation. Every one of us needs to confront our own fears, the very things we've penned down. What if we bring those fears into the light, one by one? The congregation exchanged nervous glances, but curiosity won out. It was as if a weight lifted, the air buzzing with the electricity of emotional honesty. Ben's voice, usually so small, filled the room as he stood. I fear that helping others isn't enough. My heart aches knowing that I can only do so little in a world so full of pain. Joanna nodded, encouraging him to share more. That's a brave confession, Ben. But what if we flip that script? What if every small act of kindness is a ripple in the sea of love? As he spoke, others chimed in, revealing their own fears of inadequacy and longing for significance in a vast, chaotic world. Joanna felt the sacred energy building, invisible ties weaving them closer together. I fear abandonment, Elsie finally whispered, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. When I lost my husband, it felt like I became invisible. Ah, dear sister, Joanna said, stepping closer, your pain matters. Let us hold that fear with tenderness. You are never invisible in this community. The warmth of her words wrapped around Elsie like a shawl, and others leaned in, ready to bear that burden together. Tears flowed freely now, a release of pent-up emotions. They recognized the beauty in vulnerability. It was a bridge that connected their hearts. Around the room, eyes shimmered, a kaleidoscope of empathy and understanding blossoming. Joanna felt a wave of peace wash over her. They were truly embarking on something sacred together. Remember, she continued, her voice rising with conviction, these 40 days are not simply a countdown. They are a divine preparation, a transformation rooted in love and courage. As discussions deepened and laughter crisscrossed the air, an undeniable comfort settled within the room. These were not just words spoken into silence. They were profound acknowledgments that would ripple outward into their lives, impacting all those around them. When the evening drew to a close, hearts felt lighter, as if a layer of dust had been wiped away. The weight of their fears had transformed into a shared promise, a mutual commitment to lift one another in faith and hope. Yet, deep within Joanna's spirit, a lingering unease developed. Despite the breakthroughs and shared revelations, she pondered quietly, what could the coming days hold? An unshakable thought began to weave through her. Could a revelation so powerful emerge even when darkness seemed to encroach? The congregation, filled with resolve, swayed gently together in prayer, the sacred countdown etched in the fabric of their souls, deepening their faith for what was yet to come. How many more layers could be peeled back before day 40? What transformation lay ahead when the shadows were finally chased away, revealing the divine light waiting to shine? The days rolled into each other, forming a rhythm of prayer, sharing, and growth. With a mix of excitement and apprehension, Joanna guided the congregation deeper into their spiritual exploration. Each week, another layer, another truth unveiled, lay waiting to be discovered beneath the surface of their daily lives. That following Saturday felt charged, almost electric. The congregation filled the small hall, every face illuminated by a sense of purpose. A glow embraced them as they gathered, almost as if the act of coming together was an offering to the heavens. Joanna welcomed everyone with a smile, sensing that tonight would be different. The air vibrated with potential. "Tonight, we are going to unlock the doors of faith," she declared, raising her hands slightly, beckoning their focus. "What does it mean to truly believe? To step into the unknown, knowing we are held by divine grace?" Ben's eyes were aflame with question and possibility. "But what if we fail? What if we fall short?" "Ah, but isn't it in our failures that we find our strength?" Joanna replied, her voice steady yet inviting. "Faith is not a straight path, it has stumbles and turns. Every misstep leads us closer to understanding." Ben considered her words, a flicker of hope dancing across his face. Others nodded, their belief strengthening in the shared discourse. One by one, they began sharing moments from their lives where faith had shifted their perspectives, a touch from an unseen hand guiding them through storms. Eventually, Elsie stood, her voice shakier but filled with conviction. "I once thought I would always remain in the shadows of grief. But through this journey, I've come to discover the light that still flickers within me." Her courage resonated deeply, and Joanna felt the rush of a gentle wind, God's breath sweeping through that humble space. "Yes, dear heart. You can illuminate the path for others. That light is a beacon of hope." As the discussion flowed, Joanna encouraged a reflection on the deeper purpose of their gathering. It didn't merely intend to ease burdens, it aimed to reveal strength in one another's stories. And just like that, the miracle began to unfold. Women and men alike began to speak of dreams that had felt distant, passions long suppressed. Voices melded in harmony, as over cups of tea and shared pastries, they birthed visions that had once been dormant. A sacred urgency filled the room, a collective yearning. What if they turned their dreams into action? Voices rang out, mingling aspiration with faith. "Let us commit to small steps," whispered one member, "to stretch our wings." This sparked a gentle fire within them. Joanna paused, feeling the overwhelming wave of possibilities wash over them. We are nearing the midpoint of our journey. These moments together are preparing us for something monumental. But we must lean into the discomfort. We must trust in the unseen. As the clock ticked, a stillness enveloped them, urging contemplation. Each heart vibrated in unison, tethered to an unshakable belief that the divine was intricately woven into their lives. "What if," Joanna mused aloud, "by the end of these 40 days we step into a calling greater than ourselves? What if we bear witness to sacred transformations, both within and without?" The words hung like the aroma of incense in the air, permeating their hearts. Joanna sensed that the community stood on the precipice, eagerly embracing what lay ahead, even amidst uncertainties. In that profound silence, a question echoed softly in the depths of her soul: what was the ultimate transformation waiting to be revealed? As individual fears flickered away into the shadows, what shared destiny would emerge in its place? And so, as they bowed their heads for prayer, a question lingered in the air like sweet anticipation: what miracles awaited them at the journey's end? The next Saturday arrived, and the atmosphere crackled with anticipation. The sun dipped low in the sky, casting a gentle glow inside the hall where the congregation gathered once more. Joanna felt the familiar pull of the Spirit, and she knew that something monumental was unfolding. Every pair of eyes gleamed with purpose, filled with the longing to understand the divine message that lay ahead. "Tonight," Joanna began, her voice resonating like a soft bell, "we will delve deeper into the hearts of our trials and triumphs. We will explore the sacred timing of our journey, these 40 days of faith." The mention of 40 days stirred a collective breath among them. It was as if they were reminded of the biblical significance, the wandering in the wilderness, the transformative journeys of prophets. The moment ignited a flicker of excitement. Ben, emboldened by the previous meetings, spoke up. What if we're here not just to share our stories but to prepare for a deeper calling? To really open our lives to the unimaginable? Yes, Joanna exclaimed, feeling a resonance in her spirit. In opening ourselves to God, we create a space for the miraculous. Each story shared here tonight is a thread woven into a tapestry of divine purpose. As they settled into the rhythm of sharing again, snippets of life unfolded like blooming flowers, tales of reconciliation, healing, and awakening to insights never before grasped. Elsie's lighter presence shone through her laughter, and the warmth that wrapped around the room was palpable, igniting hope. Think of the moments you felt God's presence, Joanna encouraged. Where were you when you sensed that unseen hand guiding you? When did you feel the promises of your faith transform reality? In that sacred space, voices rose like incense, weaving testimonies of hope. Janet, her eyes brimming with tears, shared a moment when her despair had turned into faith. I thought I was lost, but then I felt a warmth surrounding me, a whisper saying you are never alone. In that moment, everything changed. Those whispers are the gentle stirrings of the divine, calling us back to life, Joanna said softly, her heart swelling. Together, we listen and together we respond. Each part of our struggle is a prelude to our strength. As the conversations deepened, Joanna felt a compelling presence among them. It was as if the very walls of the hall were alive, vibrating with the energy of their shared faith. There was a sacred urgency, a holy nudge that told them to prepare not just for personal transformation but for something wide-reaching. What if, she paused, weighing her words, these 40 days culminate not just in individual revelations but in a collective awakening? What if we are being called not to just listen but to act? The gathering fell into a hush, the room charged with possibilities. Each heart beat in harmonic anticipation, and Joanna could feel the tension of divine expectation growing thick. Ben then spoke, a tremor of conviction in his voice. What if we moved beyond our comfort zones? What if we shared the visions that God has placed in us, not just among ourselves, but with the world? Can you imagine? An eruption of murmured agreement surged through the group. Joanna's heart quickened. Yes. The world is hungry for the hope that we carry. We can be vessels of transformation. As they gathered to pray, Joanna felt an unmistakable shift. The air was different, pulsing with the very essence of divine purpose. They clasped hands and prayerful words spilled forth, each beseeching for courage, clarity, and boldness. But just as the prayer was about to conclude, Joanna felt a whisper brush against her heart, a question, delicate yet insistent. What transformation lay ahead? As they released their clasped hands and shared a collective amen, a profound stillness filled the room once more. What awaited them with these remaining days? What divine calling would intertwine their lives and ripple out into the world beyond? In that charged silence, the question lingered dreadfully, like a sacred invitation. What if the greatest miracle of all was yet to come? The final evening arrived, shimmering with holy anticipation. The congregation gathered in St. Matthew's Church, their hearts connected like threads in a divine tapestry. Joanna stood at the front, feeling the weight of their hopes and fears pressing upon her. 40 days of seeking, of sharing, of growing together, would it all lead to something beautiful? As the candle flames flickered, casting shadows that danced with memories of the past, she took a deep breath, allowing the presence of the Holy Spirit to envelop her. Tonight, she said, her voice steady yet full of emotion, we gather not just for prophecy but for transformation. In these last few days, we learned that our struggles ignite our faith. We faced our fears together, grieved our losses, and celebrated our victories. A ripple of agreement washed over the congregation, their souls connecting in that beautiful space. She felt a range of emotions rise: joy, sorrow, hope, and compassion, all intertwined, drawing them closer together. Now we stand on the threshold of something monumental, Joanna declared, her voice rising. What if we open ourselves fully to the divine, allowing God to guide our steps forward? Each of us is called to shine bright, not just within these walls but outside them. In that moment, the candles flickered brighter, and the air buzzed with energy, almost as if heaven itself leaned in to listen. Faces brightened, ignited by the spark of courage. Joanna continued, "These past 40 days have prepared us to receive the fullness of God's promise. But we must let go of our insecurities. Are you ready?" A wave of "yes" surged through the crowd, each echoing heart vibrating with anticipation. Joanna stepped closer, her eyes scanning the familiar faces, each uniquely divine, each a part of this sacred vision. To respond to God's call, we must bear witness to those beyond our immediate circles. We are stewards of hope, she urged, her spirit soaring. Let us think of someone who needs this light. Someone who is lost, struggling, or lonely. Together, we will extend our hands to them, showing them the love we've nurtured here. Joanna watched as hands rose hesitantly, blessed stories bubbling to the surface like morning dew. There was Ben, eager to share how he'd offered kindness to the struggling youth in the village. Then Elsie, revealing her plans to reach out to the grieving families, sharing her own journey through loss. Yes, Joanna said, her heart racing. This is the moment we exercise our faith. Let us create happenings of kindness, spread the warmth we've discovered here. Through our actions, we proclaim the good news of grace. It is here, alive, our hope manifesting in the world. As excitement rippled through the group, the atmosphere transformed. They began to share ideas with fervor, voices mingling their dreams and aspirations blossoming among the flickering candlelight. It was a beautiful tapestry unfolding, woven together through shared commitment and love. And then, in a sacred hush, the clock chimed softly at the hour, reminding them all that the countdown was coming to its grand conclusion. An undeniable stretch of silence settled over them, and in that echo of sacred stillness, Joanna sensed that something miraculous was about to emerge. Friends, she breathed, her voice barely a whisper, in these moments of silence, listen. Listen to the divine calling. Feel the yearning within you, the urging to step into your purpose. Each heart beat in synchrony, the energy rising like the tide. Joanna closed her eyes, inviting them into prayer, each person's intentions knitting together in a web of hope. She felt the love expand, a tangible force lifting them above their doubts. As they prayed, something extraordinary happened. The air shimmered, and a profound peace filled the space. Divine presence enveloped them, washing over each heart, instilling courage and strength. Tears brimmed, laughter erupted, and a joyous melody floated, binding them in shared faith. Finally, as the prayers concluded, Joanna opened her eyes, surveying the crowd. Illuminated by the warmth around them. Our journey isn't ending, it's just the beginning. As we step out into the world, let us carry this love, this grace, and be the light for others. Families, neighborhoods, and beyond, let us show what it means to live in faith. The congregation erupted into applause, buoyed by the extraordinary energy pulsing through the room. There was no more doubt, only unity, love, and a shared commitment to spread light into the darkest corners of their world. As they exited the church, Joanna felt an overwhelming sense of joy. She paused for a moment, taking in the vibrant energy around her. It was as if heaven itself had given them the green light. They were not just villagers, not merely a gathering. They had become a powerful community united in divine purpose. 40 days had transformed them, but the journey ahead was infinite and ripe with possibility. As the stars twinkled above, Joanna lifted her face toward the heavens, letting the silence envelop her. What began in fear had blossomed into a fierce love, and through this holy movement, she sensed the promise of hope resonating from within. Together, they would illuminate the world, carrying forth the flame of faith, and the countdown had only just begun. Now, beloved friends, this is the moment you need to act. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive faith stories that may change lives. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, because every engagement means more souls reached. In the comments, share your reactions and testimonies about this ending. Each voice matters, and don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this powerful manifestation. True servants of God understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions. Let us build faith together.